Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of FinServ Tech Oracles. I'm Johna Johnson here with my oracular colleague, Jerry Murphy, who is back from his wonderful vacation in Thailand. Yes, we're all jealous of you, Jerry. Um,
One
but
on, can I say?
He's here to tie one on all. He's here to share his thoughts on technology for financial services firms, which this week have to do with zero trust. And Jerry, I know you wanted to talk about zero trust because you highlighted that it's really essential for financial services firms. And my question to you is simple: why?
Well, it does several things. First is it solves some specific problems that are happening now with security, which becomes a huger and huger issue. So it's how do I basically both tighten security, but do it in a way that can actually lower the amount of people you have to dedicate to security because they're hard people to find. It actually lowers your risk, which is good for your company profile, good for your clients, and actually serves as a basic platform that lets you do further automation. And with the advent of the massive growing of generative AI, it actually becomes something that you can bolt that stuff on in a easier way. So I think it's a win in a bunch of different ways.
And I just want to highlight something you said, which is lowering the number of people that, or reducing the number of people that are needed to manage it. That is something that we have actually researched for ourselves and can conclusively say is the case. And the drop is significant. It's more than 50%. In some cases, it's as high as 90% in terms of people, security admin, SecOps folks configuring people to get access to resources. So this is a very big deal. And if you haven't begun thinking about zero trust, you really should. But another question I had for you, Jerry, is why now?
Well, uh, there's several things that are really pushing it there. One is uh, people are being forced to, right? I mean, you look at it, there's government and it's both state agencies as well as federal agencies. You're looking at things like the Security and Exchange Commission is doing more fines on people not complying with various security proscripts. So actually, and on top of that, the maturity of these architectures are getting better. NIST has had this architecture in place. So not only is the basic architecture there, but now they've got some use case implementations. The basic architecture is vendor agnostic, but now we're starting to put down some templates that actually have examples of specific solutions that you can put in place to make this work. So I think the technology is ready, the examples are there, generative AI is helping, government regulatory bodies are pushing for it. So the fact that you're going to save money plus all those other benefits really makes it a great time to do this if you haven't already.
Right. So it's kind of the perfect storm. And I will highlight that if you're looking for vendors who actually deliver on the NIST architecture, there is something called the NIST list. Just Google NIST, look at Center of Excellence, and they have, I think, 18 or 19 vendors that have qualified as aligning to this architecture. Now, in fairness, they help develop the architecture collaboratively. So I guess they would align with it. But it's still good to know that this is real, it's not manufactured.
And not only that, but if you're actually dealing with the federal government, for example, there are a list of specific approved
Yeah,
vendors.
that's the NIST list,
Yeah.
yes, that I
So,
just mentioned, yeah. And by the way, Jerry knows whereof he speaks because he serves on the NIST committee on zero trust and has been reviewing all of their drafts and sort of assisting with that architecture. So if you have questions, feel free to ask Jerry because he is the guy in the know. So, Jerry, it really sounds like your top takeaways here are financial services firms should be considering zero trust or accelerating their zero trust journeys for a couple of reasons. One is the technology is ready, it will reduce overhead for management, and it will improve the security stance. Hey, those reasons alone are good enough, but the other reason is regulatory impact, with the SEC doing things like advancing fines and potentially even throwing CISOs in jail. It's probably the best time it's ever been to start considering solutions that improve your security stance, lower the requirements for headcount, and align with the strategic direction that the company has set, But you can't do better than that, I guess, in terms
And
of
the
a
last thing I'll
trifecta.
throw out there is for those people who are going, "Oh my god, there's gonna be this huge cost. I gotta throw everything away that I got." One of the good news is about the architecture and design is it's very modular. So you can come up with a target to be architecture, and you can plan on phasing any new parts of security that need to be replaced and making sure those new pieces are aligned with the architecture without having to throw everything else away. So that's one good part about it. It's been designed in such a way that you can incrementally make changes to different parts of your security architecture with and just make sure that they're aligned to the future architecture without having to like throw everything away that you got.
Which is an excellent point, because the other thing to remember about zero trust is that it supports a number of different use cases that in most organizations have entirely different technology silos. So, for example, you can be handling remote access, third party access, access to legacy systems. All of those are well handled by zero trust. And you may have a different group worrying about each of them, as well as, authentication, identity management, all of these good things, policy management. So basically, pretty much, Jerry, your message seems to be, if your financial services firm, accelerate your zero trust journey wherever you happen to be on it. And today is a great day to start that. Is that fair?
Yeah, and no reason not to start now.
Okay. Well, with that, that concludes this episode of Financial Services Tech Oracles. Tune in next week at 0900 for the next episode right before the markets open. Thanks, everybody, and take care. Have a great week.
Be safe.